Welcome, everybody, to Sally Speaks Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sally Arkell-Boles, and I'm a high net performance, success, and mindset mentor. And I believe that you deserve to create wealth, wellness, and the wisdom that you've always desired. And my passion lies in helping you to break through your barriers to success and provide you with the tools to create your dreams and mentor you on how to achieve those goals so you can live your best life. My podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and motivate you to success. And my guests are leaders in their field and have incredible stories and journeys to share with you. And today I am so excited to introduce you to Karen Burems. Now, Karen and I were referred to each other probably back in June, maybe even earlier, by a common friend that just has an amazing desire to share the successes of other women and to support other women in business. So, Karen, welcome to our show today.
Thank you, Sally. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm excited to have you here because I know we're going to dig into some really great elements today. And one of the things that I love and I want to just bring forward first is the name of your website, Encourage to Action. So can you expand a little bit on that? Because I think that ties in with your passion and purpose in this world. So would you mind sharing with us why that's your motto or motto?
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. So, several years ago, even before I started my business, um, I knew that in my heart and spirit that I wanted to encourage others. And through that, of course, within my work life and whatnot, Encourage to Action came organically. And so I reserved the website and then I started the process of building my business. And what that means is my my absolute joy in life is to be able to encourage others to actually move forward in action, right? And so, encourage the number two action, I think says it simply, right? Let's take action on those positive things. And even if we're not sure what that means, take action.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in positive forward movement, let's move forward. And I want to encourage others to do that because I think we make it too large sometimes, the idea of action.
Yes.
If we take it in small bites, then we're able to move forward
Yeah,
to
I
take action.
I love that because I find that often in the people that I'm also working with, that the
Mhm.
biggest fear is taking that first step, taking that action toward their goal and taking that action to what they really want to create and how they really want to serve. And I think that a lot of people have these doubts that creep in so quickly that
Mhm.
stop them from taking that immediate action. I'm a believer that when I get an intuitive thought, I need to act on it right away. So what are your perspectives on those different things that I just mentioned?
Oh, I fully agree. And it's like you just said, that intuitive feeling of there's something I'm supposed to do. And usually it's clear. We just like to question it, right? So as opposed to moving forward and action on it, we'll sit and go, well, I don't know. Why me? Am I capable? Well, yes, if it's intuitive, it's in
Mhm.
you and it needs to come out. And in
Yeah.
order to do that, it's that small step of taking that action. Yeah, so I totally agree.
Yeah, and I think also when it comes to it, you intuitively, there's a reason. It's
Yes,
coming to you from source, it's coming to you from God, whoever it is that you believe in. And it
yes.
really does, it's just something that shows up for you to help add that ease, to help add that confidence, to help add that,
Mhm.
oh, it's okay, try it. And for me, I think that, I loved when you talked to me earlier and you said, my purpose to inspire, encourage, and plus have that forward movement in action. And forward movement in action is taking you to that next step in your development, the next step in your growth. That's how I
Mhm.
interpret it. So is there anything else you want to add to that piece of it? Because that's such a powerful piece.
Yes. It's tying back to the intuition, right? You feel
Mm-hmm.
that forward movement means you're taking action. You need to feel it, right? As we identify what that intuitive um, um, process is, how you feel it. When you make forward movement, you feel that,
Mm-hmm.
right? we can
absolutely.
feel when we're making forward movement. And it can feel differently for everybody, but typically that is a positive feeling within your body. You're moving forward, you're seeing that you're taking action because you see progress, even if it's baby steps.
Mhm.
Even if it's baby steps, that forward action will yield you results, right? And that's when it's those baby steps forward action that really helps us have that confidence to keep moving forward.
Mhm.
I think sometimes we look at it too large.
Well, and we also have our logical mind that likes to kick in and tell us,
Yes.
why do you deserve that, Sally? Why would you do
Mm,
that, Sally? How are people going to
yeah.
judge you around you because you're doing something that they wouldn't
Mm,
do? How are you going to feel if it fails? How are you going to feel if, right? So all of those
mm,
negative thoughts that we have pop in, or maybe we share it with somebody and they say, what? Why would you do that? Right? And so
Oh,
I think
yes.
it's a real challenge for a lot of people to just
Hmm.
allow themselves to be in their own thought and take that action and trust that they know the best for themselves. So how do you work with your clients in that regard?
Thank you for that because that is so true. And I've lived in that space, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes,
many
we
years
are.
ago, I lived in that space, right? So we can relate
Yes.
to what that looks like. And so my goal is to honor my clients in allowing them a safe space to tell me, okay, what are your fears? Who
Mhm.
is speaking to you negatively? Or is it that self-talk that is drawing this negative impression that you can't do what
Mhm.
you know you're set out to do? And so we work through that in baby steps because I think it's so many of us want to take on such a large piece of, oh, I'm going to go from A to Z
Mhm.
in 5 days. Well, no, we need to allow that space of personal development, self-awareness to really develop so that we can change, as you would say, mindset,
Mhm.
right? Because that's your wonderful work. In terms of building the confidence one step at a time to listen to who our intuition and not someone else's,
Mhm.
believe that it's true and meant for us, right? And
Yes.
to also develop ourselves where necessary. So I work with clients to identify what that is and what are the obstacles. Let's talk about them so
Mhm.
that we can put them aside, pack them up in a nice little box and put them aside, and let's make some forward movement. And what do those baby steps look like? And we'll dig down to the nitty gritty to
Yes.
get there so they can have forward movement.
Mhm. So
Mm,
what I'm hearing is that we have a lot of our own inner thoughts that are holding us back from taking those next steps. But when we actually embrace the truth in ourselves and listen to that intuition or that those God whispers that allow us to be able to say, this is what your next move needs to be, and I'm
mhm.
here to support you in that. And I know that you have the brilliance to do this.
Yes.
Then it opens up the doors, and the doors open up quite quickly. But we
Mhm.
also need to do that work ahead
Yes.
of time so that we can live that truth, so that we can open up those doors, because it's so easy
Mhm.
to flip straight back to the doubt after you've taken that intuitive action, and then boom, the doubt takes you off that track again. So I love that you talked about the deep work that you do with your clients to really
Mhm.
set that aside and build on that belief in yourself and understand who you truly are to be able to move forward. And so I think that's one of the keys that most people miss. They think, okay, if I take that action, it'll just happen. But it needs to be that thought that you continue to carry, that it is possible.
Yes. You have to do the work,
Mhm.
right? And it's internal. It's internal work.
Mhm.
It's really looking at the layers.
Yes.
There's layers of all different sorts of thoughts that we've created through our
Mhm.
upbringing,
Mhm.
right? That we hold on to, that somebody else has said to us that we believe that may
Yes.
not be true. And so it's doing that hard work. And I'm not, because it's not necessarily easy work,
Mm-mm.
because it's self-reflection, it's that self-awareness, it's really digging deep, but
Yes.
it's a partnership that I
Yes.
do with my clients so that they're not alone in this journey.
Mhm. Mhm.
We will move through together, and I'm just here to help uncover what that wonderful presence is underneath, what that wonderful gift is that they have to offer.
Yeah. I love that you
Yeah.
said that wonderful presence and the
Mhm.
wonderful gift, because I think a lot of us understand and know where our I'll call them barriers or blocks, or where those paradigms are that we've embraced throughout our life.
Mhm.
And to have someone like yourself to be able to help them to understand and navigate that is
Yes.
critical, because my experience in coaching people as well and in working with people is that someone that's close to them sees those things but hasn't got the skill set to be able to help that person to work through them in a way that's going to be effective and long
Mhm.
lasting. And I think that's the difference between hiring a coach or a consultant to be able to work with you compared to hiring or just trusting someone that is, you know, your spouse or your best friend or your sister or your brother, because they're not
Mhm.
actually understanding the psychology behind it.
So true. So true. And they're too close, right? If you're
Mhm.
I'm not going to attempt, as much as I love my family, my daughter, my sons, I'm too close to them to
Mhm.
really see and dig deep, and for them to hear it in
Yes.
such a way where working with someone that you're not, not my best friend, not my
Mhm.
relatives, those that I'm close to and I already know, it's so satisfying and gratifying to be able to work with somebody that we don't have that direct line of closeness.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because now here's somebody, I'm objective,
Yes.
I'm providing a safe space so that they can be vulnerable and
Mhm.
not judged on, well, oh, well, when you were a kid, you did, I don't know.
Yes.
When last week you did X, I don't know that, right? So it's non-judgmental. It's all about the client and helping them move forward in that action that we talked about.
Mhm. Now, who are your ideal clients? Who are the people that you choose to work
Mm. I love, and not to be, you know, choosing one or the other, but I love working with women.
with? Yes, I do too.
I love working with individuals actually who believe they have something to offer,
Mhm.
or they're not sure what that looks like. They
Yes.
have that nudge, but they're not sure. They
Mhm.
might be in a career and they feel stuck and they're looking for that next.
Mhm.
And what does that look like? I love working with women who are in the nonprofit space as well. Um, that's one of my passions is not our nonprofit work. Those who are in corporate America and those who might be in that journey of flux, right?
Mhm.
They're not in a job currently and they're trying to figure out that next step.
Mhm.
I would, I love that because that's when you're really in a space to open up
Mhm.
and find that inspiration within to take some movement forward. So, um, and when I say women, it can be from 20 years old and up. You know, me myself, I'm 57, so have a wide range of experience from working in entertainment to healthcare to nonprofits, and I just love people. So,
Mhm. That's beautiful. And I think
yeah.
that there's so many people today um, seeking, seeking the answers, seeking the understanding about self, seeking
Yes.
that there is a different way that I can operate, and I don't have to operate based off of those same emotions or feelings that I've had from when I was a little girl and or a little boy, and just really understanding that there is possibility to create your life however you choose to create it, and as big as you choose to create it. And that I think is a choice that people are understanding now that they have. And so it allows us to be able to go in and work with people, like you're saying, from all the different ages, all the different sectors, wherever they're at today, if
Yes.
they're longing for something more and they know that there's something missing, what I'm finding with my clients is that it's really, they've lost sense of their purpose.
Yes.
And they've
I
been
must
doing the
agree with
do.
you.
They've been doing the do. They've been, raising their families. They've been, working in a great job, setting themselves up for the future. They've got the home, they've got the grandkids, or they've got their children going, and they're really stuck in the fact that I just don't feel like I have a purpose anymore. I'm looking for something bigger and better. And like you talked about the nonprofits, maybe there's something like that they really want to step into, but have no idea how to. Or
Right.
maybe they're looking for this dream that they've always thought about, but nobody told them that it was even worth it, and they didn't tell themselves they were worth it. So that one of the things I love about the work that I do, and I can see it in yourself too, because you're lighting up already, is that we get to help them expose that and bring that
Yes.
forward. And that to me is the
Mhm.
heart-centered work
Yes.
that we get to do in this world.
I fully agree with you. And yes, I'm lighting up because I love the work that I'm able to do.
Mhm.
And, I'm a lifelong learner. I just continue to learn and progress so that I, I'm doing what I'm going to honor my clients with and helping them figure out. I've been
Mhm.
through it. I have I have a coach, and I've been coached throughout my career,
Mhm.
and I just find it to be amazing. And now there's so much opportunity,
Mhm. It
for
truly is. And I think
Mhm.
that I love that because it seems to be so much more accessible today.
Yes,
Right? I mean, a lot of us
yes,
that have been in the corporate world, we coached people in that corporate world based off of our expertise, and we were coached by people based off of their expertise. But
hmm
sometimes we need an outside coach.
yes.
So can you explain the difference between having someone outside of that org versus somebody in that org?
Mm. So for me, I do both. So I'm an
Mhm.
internal coach. I work part-time for a nonprofit, right, in
Mhm.
leadership. So I do
Yeah.
leadership coaching as well as external. And with my external, there's a realm of opportunity, right? Are we looking at, because I want to look at whole person.
Yes.
And what does that whole person thrive to be, as opposed to one focus on leadership? Well, what's that personal aspirational goal that you're trying to reach? And maybe they're not sure. So let's break it down. And maybe it is career related. Okay, we can work through that as well. The options are open.
Yes.
So I'm not focused just on, let's look at the leadership track and let's continue to help you develop as that powerful leader, unless that's what you want to do.
Mhm.
But of course, externally, we work on that as well as internally, whole person, because we always bring our whole self. But externally, it's what the client wants to work on.
Mhm. Mhm.
What do they see as that desire and that goal? What is coming up for them internally that they've been thinking about for years? Let's
Mhm.
explore.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful exploration of
Yeah,
self.
and what I've experienced is that in those coaching conversations with people, is that there's things in there that they haven't even explored, but that come out during the process. And all of a
Yes,
sudden the light bulb goes on and says, well, what if I could
yes,
change the way that I work my full-time career to be able to give me more time to do my passion project as a
yes.
business owner, and all of those different things come up. And it's really fun to watch how quickly the change happens for
hmm
individuals and for
hmm
anybody that we're working with, to be able to see what they're able to create. And as the process goes on, they become more and more bold.
Yes. It's a
Because,
beautiful sight.
isn't it?
It's a beautiful sight to witness.
Mhm. Well, and I think it's a privilege because we're being invited into their lives in a way that probably nobody else ever has,
Yes,
right? Even their
yes.
spouses
It's
haven't
a
been invited
gift.
in. Yes. And so I think, it's I just find it just so exciting to be able to see and witness somebody make such a
hmm
dramatic difference in their life for
Yeah.
and the legacy that they're creating by doing that.
Oh, for sure. because once they experience, it's okay. They're telling their friends,
Mm-hmm.
their partners, whoever is in their space, their circle of influence, they will be able to positively influence with that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So can you
yeah.
give us an example of one client that you might have worked up with and
Mm,
where they sort of started and what you noticed within their growth?
mm. Wow, okay. Let's see. Which one? There's, hmm. I've seen individuals go from when we started and they were, I will say, in the doldrums. It was just like, I don't know. They're in between jobs, not sure what to do, and not in a very happy space,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it just became life became sort of monotonous.
Mm-hmm.
And as we just worked through one session, one step at a time, and this individual willing to do the work, and it took a few sessions to even ramp up to that, but that's okay.
Hmm.
But several sessions later, oh my, she was on fire. She's now committed to what she um, sees as her goal,
Mm-hmm.
to making that goal come to fruition.
Yeah.
She's doing the work and she's journaling. She's committed to what she professed to me that will drive her forward. And she's
Mm-hmm.
seeing that forward movement and is, she lights up now.
Oh,
She's so excited about her life and the changes she's making. And now she's it's just exciting. She's making that forward movement and making
yes.
progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think when
Mhm.
they have a trusted source alongside them, like a trusted person like yourself alongside them,
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but I would meet on a weekly basis with my clients. And by the next time they've conquered something, but they found a new gap that they want to work on right away. And I think
Yeah.
that's a really beautiful thing because most people, once they start getting into this, they recognize where some of their blocks are themselves.
Yes.
And because we've trained them to look for them, but
Yes.
also we're saying they're
Yes.
eager to now figure out how to deal with that one and open up
Hmm.
the gates to be able to
Yes.
have more brilliance. So I think that's a beautiful stage as well. And when you feel that your clients are actually doing that, it's
Yes.
incredible. Yeah.
Yes.
So now tell me more about the nonprofits.
Mm. So I currently work for a nonprofit in child and family services, and but I'm on the human resources side. And like I said, I'm able to do internal leadership coaching, which
Yes.
is I love it. Um, and my goal is to also create a nonprofit. I've
Mm,
worked in nonprofit healthcare for over 10 years now.
nice.
Well, probably longer. Um, but my dream is also creating. I have my domain saved so that as I
Mhm.
have time, I'm developing a program so that I can offer coaching for individuals who might sit in a mid-manager range
Mhm.
or in an entry level, but know they want to be able to move up, but
Mm,
can't afford coaching.
yes.
So offering them um, that offering of coaching that can change their lives as well.
Mm, okay.
Yeah,
Beautiful. So now
yeah,
you mentioned earlier that you're a lifelong learner.
yes.
And we just completed a new program. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the how that has changed
Oh,
you going forward, or what were your insights from that?
definitely. So interestingly enough, this is as I'm talking about, you set the stage and you do the work. So 20 years ago, I met a Hudson coach
Mhm.
from Hudson Institute of Coaching, which is here in Santa Barbara, California. Um, and I said, I'm going to do that one day. If I need to get my kids, on their
Yeah.
merry way, and life was busy. So I just completed the 8-month program. It was extraordinary and life changing because we start with a life forward program, which is all about self and knowing our internal landscape and those
Mhm.
things that we need to work on and continue to develop. And it was the most fascinating leadership, executive coaching training.
Mhm.
And I just completed, received my certification on Friday, passed
Yay.
my exams, and now I'm
Woohoo.
fully a Hudson Institute leadership executive coach. So I am
Congratulations.
thrilled. I am so
Yay.
thrilled. Yes, intensive work, but it was so worth it, and I've learned so much. Yeah, so I continue to learn and
Mhm.
grow myself.
Well, yeah, and I think that's a part of the business that we're in and the industry that we're in is to have that continuous growth because
Yes,
if you're not ahead of your clients, then you're not really growing
really.
yourself. So I love that.
Exactly.
So give us an example of one of the biggest ahas you had during your most with your training with Hudson.
One of my biggest aha for me, um, I would say is just the self-awareness that came about. And one was, okay, I'm in this group of, it was 35 of us, and I started to kind of not speak up. But
Oh,
so I learned, I was able to have that self-awareness and put it out there. The group was supportive. And so towards the, as we met in person for 4 different weeks, everything else was virtual.
mm,
I started speaking up and was able to vocalize in this group more
mm,
so than I would have done previously. And so it was an aha moment for me, just of self-awareness,
mm,
but also using my voice in this beautiful audience of other individuals who was
mhm.
seeking this certification. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great because I think there's a lot of people. I know I'm one of them too. That I'm a very good listener and I watch people as well.
Mhm.
So I can tell by their actions and their words what they're doing. And so I've become a very good observer.
Mhm.
But I also will sit back before I actually speak up. So I appreciate that because it's something that I've been working on as well because I
Mhm.
recognize that my voice does need to be heard and others are appreciative of hearing it I come forward. And so I think
Yes.
it's really important to understand who you are as a person, but
Mhm.
understanding that there are still opportunities for growth, no matter where you are, no matter what age you are.
Yes.
I saw a little reel yesterday, and it was a lady that was over 100 or close to 100, and she was saying, I'm not going anywhere. I still have a goal. I have a 10-year goal. I need to make, she wanted to have villages for seniors where they could all be
Mm.
self-sufficient. And that was her goal, was to make sure that that happened within the next 10 years. So she said, I have a 10-year goal. I'm not going anywhere until this is done.
I
And,
love
it's like,
that.
I love that attitude because she sees the need and she wants to make sure her friends have that opportunity in the future. People
Mm.
that are coming through her journey, similar journey, are going to be there. I thought, wow, how incredible is that? How many
Oh,
of us
yes.
believe that as we leave our corporate world or after we've had our children and so on, that we don't need goals anymore? But that
Right.
goal was so prevalent in her
Oh,
conversation that she had in this quick little reel. I'm like, wow, now that's what we should all be focusing on
yes.
as we grow, right?
Yes.
Growth doesn't stop and she still wants to contribute
No.
back to society. So I love that
Mm.
perspective. And so that really touched me yesterday as I was watching that. And it's like, wow, showed up for a reason because I think
Yes.
so many people need to hear that life doesn't end just because we
It
decide
does.
on a certain age. Right?
Yes. We
That's,
keep moving forward. We have so much to offer,
mhm.
right? Each individual.
Yes.
We have something unique to offer other individuals. And we should continue to learn
Mhm.
and learn from one another and be open to the the aspect of I can take in, but
Mhm.
I can also pour out.
Yes. Part of
Hmm.
wisdom, right? Part of wisdom is making sure that
Yes.
we're sharing our gifts and being able to
Hmm.
be present with the people
Yes.
that are needing us in their life at that point in time. Because we can go like with this podcast and leave a great message, and
Hmm.
somebody out there is waiting for this. And you
So
and I do
true.
not know who it is, but
No.
somebody out there is going to hear this and it's going to resonate, and they're going to go,
Mm.
"This is exactly what I needed to hear today." And
Yes.
it's beautiful because we don't have to know who those people are. They're going to find it because they need to find it. Just as
Yes.
I found that lady last night, and I was like, wow,
Wow.
this is someone I want to be like when I get to that stage in life. Always having a goal, always wanting to have something that's going to keep
Hmm.
me on this planet so that I can continue to contribute. And it's like, wow, what an impactful
Yes.
statement. And so I really appreciate the continuous growth that you're on, because every time you talk about it,
Mm.
you just light up because you're growing and you're finding other ways to be able to
Yes.
serve at a bigger capacity. Um,
Yes.
I know our common friend Diane Woodford is the same,
Yes.
and she's just always doing amazing things, her and Charles, to be able to
Yes.
make a bigger impact in the world. And they have so much energy and they look so young and they just are always sharing their love. So I love
Yes.
that she actually connected us because I can see why you're in her network.
As I can see why you are as well. It's a wonderful connection.
Yeah, it
A
is. So,
wonderful connection. Hmm.
and that's what the world's about, right? Like I didn't know
Yes.
Diane last year. I met her this
Right.
year. And we've had an amazing relationship together and learned so much from each
Hmm.
other. And she's referred me to people just like you that she knows are
Hmm.
spreading the same type of light for this world.
Yes.
So
Yes.
before we close, is there anything else that you have as a key message that you would love people to be able to hold on to? It's
Mm.
just that one little nugget that they can say, yes, that's why I listened today.
I would say to, as you move through the day and each day, to share something positive with someone.
Mm,
Sometimes it's as simple as saying hello
yes.
to that stranger. It could be as subtle as a wave that
Mhm.
might change somebody's life, but just move forward in positivity.
Yes.
So that forward movement, as I spoke about,
Mhm.
in action, make it positive so that you're impacting someone ever
Yeah.
so slightly, but there's a positive impact. Because that ripple effect makes a huge difference in this world that we live in, and I think we really need that.
I agree. And I love that that's your closing comment because we do have the opportunity to create that ripple. And it's a
Hmm.
matter of just like you said, saying hello, smiling at someone as you're walking by,
Yeah.
acknowledging
Hmm.
somebody in the store
Yes.
by they have a name tag on and saying, how are you doing today,
Yes.
John? Right? Just those little
Yes.
things make a huge difference
Makes. Hmm.
um, in people's lives because you make them human,
Yes.
right? You make them human. They're
Yes.
not just
Hmm.
an invisible person out there in society. They are now human and you recognize.
Yes.
And so I
Hmm.
really love, look at your smile. And I just love the energy that you bring forward. I know that your
Mm.
clients are having huge success. And I
Yeah.
just really appreciate that you encourage people to take action and take
Mm.
action in a positive mindset and move forward to create an amazing world for everybody else and generations to come. So
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us today, Karen. But
Mm.
how can people track you down? How can people find you?
Well, we can go to my website, encourage the number two action.com.
Perfect.
On LinkedIn, it's my name, Karen Burems, Burems. And on IG, it's Encourage to Action as well. Love to hear from you. Check out some weekly inspirations on LinkedIn and IG. And I'm here to serve. So
Well, thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much
this
for your time.
opportunity.
Oh, it's just been my
Thank
pleasure. I
you.
love meeting with people just like you, and you don't
Mhm.
disappoint at all.
Ah,
You're a shining light for others, and I really appreciate the service that you do in your communities.
thank you.
Thank
You
you.
do well. Be well.